Greetings, YouTube! The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And we've got our next new spell from Forgotten Realms, Heroes of Faerun. It is the spell Holy Star of Mystra. You could change the word Mystra to something else. Just saying, because this is a spell that is usable by players. It's very usable by players. And it is also very, very, very usable by dungeon masters. So if you are a dungeon master and you want to create a memorable opponent, a big, bad, evil guy, you can change that holy to another word and the name Mystra to another word and slap this on your favorite evil cleric or evil wizard, and you've got yourself a nasty, nasty villain. All right, let's talk about the spell. Holy Star of Mystra. 8th level spell. It is an 8th level spell, so we are going to need to be at least 15th level in our spell casting. You are probably going to have a straight class at this point, maybe a couple levels in another class. But again, this does meet the power level of an 8th level spell. It is a bonus action to cast it, so that is a bonus. That is a bump to the grade. It's a range of self. Would be nice if it was touch, but it's not. It is only verbal and somatic components. That's great. So no material component. It lasts for an entire minute. It is concentration. It's evocation. The moat does shed bright light in a 5-foot radius and dim light for an additional 5 feet. So little tiny bit of light. I was like reading that first sentence. I was like, really? This is an 8th level spell? It got better, and then the last paragraph got really, really nice. So when you cast this spell and as a bonus action on later turns, you can unleash a shining bolt from the moat, targeting one creature within 120 feet of yourself. That's pretty far. Make a ranged spell attack, which, to be honest, if you're a 15th level character, that is super easy to do. I'm just saying, most creatures don't have a fantastic armor class. It's around 15, which is kind of sad. Even at this level, it's around a 15, which is kind of sad. So making that ranged spell attack is pretty easy. It's a freebie. On a hit, the target takes force or radiant damage, your choice. A lot of things take force damage. A lot of things can be vulnerable to radiant damage. And that damage equals 4d10 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. What is 4d10? Well, that's 5.5 times 4 plus at least a 5. At this level, you should have a 5, and that's 27 points. Now, to compare that to our fireball, which is 8d6, that is a 28 points of damage on average for a fireball. So if you hit with this, you're going to be doing 27 points of damage as a bonus action. So that is pretty awesome. And then finally, the last paragraph is the pied de resistance. In addition, while the moat is present, you have 3/4 cover. That's a +5 to your AC and deck saves to all deck saves. If behind more than 1 degree of cover, a target benefits from only the most protective degree. 3/4 cover is the best, because the next point after that is complete cutoff. So +5 to your AC and +5 to all deck saves, as long as this thing is around, which is 10 rounds. And if you succeed on a saving throw against a spell of level 7 or lower that targeted only you and didn't create an area of effect, you can take a reaction to deflect that spell back at the spell's caster. It doesn't specify what kind of spell, it just says a spell. So if they are casting a hold person or hold monster on you, that is a targeted spell. It's getting reflected back. Finally, the caster makes a saving throw against the spell using that caster's own spell DC. So if that spell DC was an 18, for an intelligence saving throw, charisma, wisdom, whatever, they're going to have to make that saving throw. Odds are they're going to be pretty good at making saves against their own spells because they're using that spellcasting modifier. But again, that's for 10 rounds. Every round you get to launch something that's doing about 27 points of damage. It's going to hit unless you roll a 1. You get 3/4 cover +5 to saves, dex saves, and your AC. And you, as a reaction, and you need to save your reaction for this, you get to reflect a level 7 or lower spell. That is awesome. That only targets you, however, but that's still, I mean, otherwise that would be way too much. So what grade are we going to give this? This is a easy A+ for that level. It is such a great protective spell. And I'm going to show you why that is, because we're going to talk about some classes that go well with this. Now, it is only usable by clerics and wizards, so that's a little bit of a hit against it. But, is this a spell I'm going to cast every combat? Absolutely. This is going to be one of the first ones I put up. It is going to take my concentration, but I'm going to build around this kind of spell. And is this going to be part of a build? Absolutely. And is this going to benefit the party? Absolutely. Because now, instead of targeting me with spells, somebody else is going to get targeted once they find out that things are going to get reflected. As a DM, I want you to imagine a big bad villain who has this, and the players start launching hold person, hold monster, name it, you name it, that anything that's bad and it gets reflected back on them, they're just going to gasp in fear. All right, let's talk about some classes now. So this is usable by clerics. I do like this for the old Twilight Domain. The Twilight Domain cleric gets some okay spells. Moonbeam is pretty good. Aura of Vitality, Aura of Life is pretty good. Greater Invisibility. Leomund's Tiny Hut's been kind of nerfed. They get this Eyes of Night. The big one is their Twilight Sanctuary for temporary hit points. And they do have Divine Strike because that's kind of a normal thing. I also do like the Light Cleric for this. It goes kind of along flavor-wise with that. But they do have a really good spell list with Fireball, of course, and Wall of Fire, things like that. I don't know why Arcane Eye. Well, I guess it's because it can see in the dark or whatever. They have the Radiance of the Dawn. It's a magic action. You're not really going to be... You might want to use this in your bonus action to do a bunch of damage. The Warding Flare, this is going to use your reaction, so you kind of have to be careful of that. Now, for wizards, and this is the biggie, we're talking the Bladesinger. Now, this is the new Bladesinger. They took away the proficiency in light armor. I don't like that. They also took away the bump to a few other things. But the big one was the light armor. But you still get Blade Song, and it does last for a minute. And it gives you a bonus to your AC equal to your intelligence modifier. And at this level, it should be a 5. That should be a level 5. Plus, with the mode on, you're getting another 5. If you can figure out a way to get proficiency with at least light armor, or, just have mage armor on, you are going to have a bumpin' armor class. Just a massive armor class. You can use a weapon. You can use that bonus action, because you're not really using your bonus action with this for very much. You can attack. You can cast spells. You can use that bonus action to do an extra 27 points of damage. I mean, just awesome. And then you're going to reflect. You're not really using your reaction with this either, except for this Song of Defense, which reduces damage. Who cares about that? Unless you need to. Unless you absolutely need to save your life. But if you've got Holy Star of Mystra on, then you're going to reflect spells back. So that's pretty awesome. All in all, A+ spell. I really like this. I do think it falls right along the 8th level power, like 8th level plus power level. It's really easy to cast. It lasts for a while, and it's great for protection. All right, that is what I have for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.